this something.
I know that means you need to exercise
I'm
that.
going to go
Lift
to
it up
physical
and
therapy
down.
again. Oh, that guy had me with both my hands up here.
Right.
It hurts. I thought, I can't do that.
Because you're not doing it, I bet you will be able to do
I
it
hope
after you
so.
get done with their
Therapy.
therapy.
Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you for joining me for our memorial service from January to April 2022. So at this memorial service today, we will be remembering 7 of our neighbors and friends that have passed away in the past couple months. So I would like to start off with a poem titled Until We Meet Again. We think about you always, we talk about you still. You have never been forgotten, and you never will. We hold you close within our hearts, and here you will remain, to walk and to guide us through life until we meet again. So as I mentioned, we have 7 of our neighbors and friends that have passed away, so I'm going to read out their names, and we'll just remember them as I light a candle. So in alphabetical order, our first neighbor that has passed on in the past couple months was Claren Edwards. Dorothy Guy Shecker. Guy Werner. Joseph Mann. Julie Weimholt. Teddy Krass. And last but not least is Tim Weidman. So for those 7 of our neighbors that have passed away, if anybody would like to share a story or share a memory or anything about those 7 people, you are welcome to either from your seat or if you'd like to come up to the microphone and share a story about any of them. Or if you weren't close with any of them but want to share a story about the Breakers community, please come on up. Okay, Helen,
I just want to stay here.
that's fine.
Guy Warner was my neighbor. He lived in my apartment. I mean, not in my apartment, on my floor. And but he was in it quite often. He loved to play bridge. And even though his eyesight was getting worse and worse, he still played bridge. And he tried so hard. He was always a gentleman and always wanted to do things for you. And wasn't afraid when things got bad for him, asking me to help too. So I really miss him. And his sisters wanted to come today, and I called as soon as I saw you going to have it, but they have something going on. So. Okay, that's all. He was a great guy.
Thank you. For those watching at home, Helen had shared about Guy Werner and how much he enjoyed bridge and how much of a gentleman and great guy he was. Does anyone else have a memory or a story about any of our neighbors that you'd like to share? Jane, you want to go first?
I wanted to mention about Dorothy Geishiker. She was not known to most people in the building because she had stayed in her apartment for a number of years. But I want to say that she was person who served on our library committee and was there quite a while. And I remember her in that special capacity.
So Jane just shared about Dorothy and how she was on the library committee and served on the library committee in a wonderful way. So thank you for sharing that. Sylvia?
Want to mention my husband, Sumner Kaplan, who's a retired naval officer and served in the Navy for 20 years. Great life.
Thank you, Sylvia. Sylvia offered a memory about her husband that passed away a little bit ago, and he was a retired naval officer. Yes, thank you. Erwin?
Well, I have also thinking of Guy. He was playing poker with us and Scrabble, and as his eyesight got bad, he kind of stopped on both, but he would work on the computer and he'd be playing poker. And he'd often complain about our banter at poker. He said, your banter isn't very clever anymore. I said, well, because you're not playing, you don't take part of the banter. But he would be at the computer and look at us and kind of listen to our comments and just comment about how the banter had gotten very second rate.
So Erwin also shared a wonderful memory of Guy and how he had played poker and Scrabble, but then as his eyesight started playing poker online and was talking about how their banter was lacking after he stopped with the poker. Okay, Lorenia?
I'd like to give a tribute to Guy. Guy, we nicknamed him our tomato man. He was the gardener outside. And if anyone would like to come into the greenhouse, we have a tribute for Guy there. You'll see it.
Lorenia shared that Guy, as many of us know, was a wonderful gardener, had many tomato plants in his garden, and they have a tribute to him in the greenhouse that she invited everybody to come see. Any other memories or stories? Alicia? It's okay, you can share from there if you'd like.
I saw Guy many times on the 30th floor, and his sister mentioned to me how much he loved the Breakers and how much he loved playing bridge and how important Helen had been to him through the years. And so I just wanted to say that. I know, Helen, you said that you miss him, but certainly his sister told me how fond she was of you and how wonderful you were to him.
Thank you. Alicia shared about some more memories about Guy and how much he from his sister, and how his sister had mentioned how much Guy enjoyed the Breakers and was fond of Helen. And thank you for sharing, Alicia. Velma?
I would like to share a memory about Guy. I did receive some of those tomatoes from him. And one day he just said, "Here, take some." And also about Teddy was one of those first people that I met here in the exercise class, and we became good friends. And I enjoyed talking to her very much. She shared a lot of things with me. And also Julie, we shared the open mic together, and I encouraged her and enjoyed her poetry. So those are the memories that I have. Thank you.
Thank you, Velma. Velma shared about Guy and Julie and Teddy. Wonderful memories about all three. Does anybody else have a memory or a story that you would like to share? Helen?
Well, this is gonna start funny. I forgot their name.
Sylvia? Yeah. Sylvia there?
Oh, what was your name? Sylvia. Sylvia. I knew her husband, and he was a golfer, but he did not play golf with women. I can remember. And I would tease him all the time. Come on, I won't hold you back. And he had said that the last winter when you were here, or summer, that he would play with me next year. So I always remember that. did talk about that.
Helen shared a wonderful memory about Sylvia's husband and their back and forth about golf days. Any other stories or memories? Well, if nobody, Jerry, yes?
I met Teddy on her first day here, and she never forgot me. She always waved at me every time she saw me or had something to say. So anyway, I said, "Well, this was quite a long time ago, and maybe, well, it was several years ago, more than 5." And I said, I said, I'm interested in doing a bit of cooking. I said, are you going to do any cooking? She said, absolutely not. She said, I'm sick and tired of cooking. I said, I'm going to enjoy the food here, whether it's good or not. And she never, every time she saw me, she would wave, and if she wasn't close by, she'd move over where she could wave at me. I miss her.
Oh, wonderful. Sherry shared a wonderful memory about how she met Teddy on Teddy's first day here at the Breakers, and they have just been friends ever since and always went out of their way to wave at each other. Teddy much enjoyed not having to cook while at the Breakers. Any other stories or memories? Then I'm going to add just a couple about a few people that we haven't mentioned yet. Tim Weidman, he was also a wonderful, wonderful poet, and he performed at many of our open mic nights also. And I will say at the open mic nights, he was one of the people with the most gusto, I would say. He would get the hand movements and everything into his poetry. And I remember there was one open mic night where he did a series of one-liner poetry, and that one-liner would either crack you up or it just take you aback, and it was very moving poetry. And then Joseph Mann. I don't know how many of you ever got to know Joseph Mann very well. He lived on the 6th floor, and he did keep to himself a little bit, but when the pandemic hit, Joseph got a new iPhone, a new iPad, and a new TV. And so him and I spent a lot of time together over about a week getting everything set up and registered so he could stay connected with his family. And I remember when he learned how to use Zoom, as many of us were learning how to do, he was just so excited that he was able to Zoom with his family all over. And so it was just so meaningful that we all got to get connected in such a tough time in life. Okay, now that we've remembered some of the people at the Breakers, if there's anybody else in the past couple months or a year that you know from outside the Breakers that has passed away, that you want to just say their name while we all remember, feel free to do so.
Otis Vale.
Thank you.
Nancy Crawl, Margaret Lilly, and Elaine.
Thank you. Okay. So next up, I would ask for a moment of silence. Just bow our heads and close our eyes and remember all of our friends. Thank you, everyone. And now, if you would join in with me in singing Amazing Grace, we are going a cappella this time. Our music got a little fast for us at the last memorial service, so we're going a cappella. But I'm going to step away from the mic. So if you'll join me, we can start on 1, 2,
You know
3.
the words anyway.
Amazing grace, how sweet the sound that saved a wretch like me. I was lost, but now am found. Was blind, but now I see. see. 'Twas grace that taught my heart to fear, and grace my fears relieved. How precious did that grace appear, the hour I first believed. Through many dangers, toils, and snares, I have already come. 'Tis grace that brought me safe thus far, and grace will lead me home. Amazing grace, how sweet the sound that saved a wretch like me. I was lost, but now I'm found. Was mine the love I see. Thank you, everyone. Thank you all for coming and for remembering our neighbors. On your way out, if you would leave the lyrics on the table, then I'll save them for next time. But I appreciate you all being here. Thank you very much.
She said to put them on the table.
That was lovely.
So,